Hello, I'm Councilwoman Laura Pastor from District 4. We are on location at Fire Station 61. And what is most important to our family is our kids. We are here to talk about safety and our car seats and how toddlers move into different stages of car seats. I am here with Kelly Liebermann. Thank you, Kelly.
Good morning,
Pleasure to see you. Good morning.
Pastor.
Good morning. I have difficulty understanding, or at least with my Sophia, understanding the different stages of car seats. And so could you explain to me why it's so important to have a car seat?
Absolutely. Well, you know, we've come a long way with our technologies in car seats. I mean, I've seen pictures of children in these little buckets, you know, with little straps around them, being held. They're just strapped in the back seat or sitting on the floor in the back seat.
Oh.
So over the years, there's been many changes. And with that comes new technologies, different latches, levers, all these mechanisms to try to make sure that these car seats are secured properly. But they also try to make things easier for parents or caregivers. So, you know, over the years, we've actually got up to about over a 70% increase in survivability due to car seats now.
So they do protect our infants and children.
But
I always
the key word,
curious about that.
When they're properly installed, though, that's the issue. We're looking over 80% of the car seats that come in that we check are installed improperly. And that's because of the variables, different size cars, different size seats, different size children, lots of changes.
So when I had a car seat, I went to a fair where they showed me how to properly install the car seat. And once they put it into the car, I did not move it. So I had many car seats in order to move in different vehicles.
Yes, that's what a lot of people do. It's, hey, once it's in, don't touch it, leave it alone, I know it's safe. And so starting out, I mean, we have an infant here, and this is, you know, birth to about 2 years old. So what we're looking for is we're trying to get these children to stay rear facing in a seat like this till they're about 2 years old. And why is we want to spread the force of impact over a broader surface of their body. So that's why we have we have all the harnesses, but if you do get in a vehicle crash when the child's rear facing, then it'll spread the force of impact over the back of their head, their back, their hips, instead of putting all that pressure on their chest. So that's why they say rear facing to at least 2 years old.
And so I noticed, here it is. We'll have to turn
Oh,
it
yes. The latch mechanism.
So the latch mechanism is placed on the back seat of the car. Usually the most modern cars have a latch.
Exactly. Okay. Most vehicles over about year 2000 have these latch mechanisms. And you can see there's a little logo right here, which will also be a logo on the back seat of the vehicle.
Got it.
And you'll know that you can just click those in and look in the owner's manual just to be sure. And there's also an owner manual that comes with your vehicle and the one that comes with this, and they have all the instructions in there.
Okay, well, what made me think that the safety of the seat was at the latch?
Yes.
Because the impact of it pulling made me feel comfortable in the sense not only did it have the seat belt, it also had the latch.
Yes, so, and here's what it is you choose one or the other. It's either the seat belt or the latches.
What if I did both?
I know, and if you do both, that's bad, believe it or not.
Oh, no.
I know. So and this is what I was talking about earlier, is that the technologies, parents were getting confused with seat belts, and there's so many different types of seat belts. There's the lap belt, there's the shoulder lap belt, there's automatic locking mechanisms. They said, let's just make these latches. Parents can click them in, tighten them, and be done. But they're still doing them wrong. There's still some issues going on. Yeah, and so what it is a lot of the time is people are putting these on the wrong seats, or it's called borrowing. It's supposed to be on this seat, and they're using the latch from this one and this one. And that's why I say I recommend using the owner's manual, just to look through and see where they can put the car seat. But they put these, manufacturers created these to be simpler because they weren't doing the seat belts properly when installing the car seats.
Well, we're going to move to the car seat, and this is a convertible, right?
Yeah, so this is the convertible. This one goes again till about 2 years old, or until they outgrow the weight, which this one's about 30 pounds. 30 to 35 pounds is normal. Moving forward, this would be rear facing. This would be, it's actually a convertible seat. This does all three positions. I know. Rear facing, forward facing, and then it actually can be turned into a high back booster seat when the children, until they hit 4'9" or 8 years old. So this can go from birth till almost 8 years old. This seat right here.
And this is exciting because you only buy one car seat.
Yes,
This
exactly.
is exciting. It's not as expensive.
Very true. Save money.
Right. With my Eddie, we had to buy the 3 stages at that time, during that time period. So this is really nice, and I'm glad it's modernized, and we're with, and it also has all the modern technology features.
It does.
Safety.
It does. It has the extra padding. It secures
the padding
the
right
head
here.
in case of these, side impacts as well. So their safety features are incredible on these. Little adjustments to tilt them forward or back, depending on if they're rear facing or if they're forward facing. In this example here, we'll leave them just like that. And these are actually, where a lot of issues come is that parents they'll maybe have the seat in properly, but they don't have the child secured properly.
So that's a good point, because what was happening with me is that these were loose. And so once I went and said, did I do this okay? They said, okay, it's too loose, let's adjust, and then to make sure the straps were on correctly.
Exactly, and the same with the infant here and the toddler is that, what we say is you should be able to get a finger underneath that chest clip here. But if you're able to pinch these shoulder straps, if you can pinch them,
I can't even pinch them.
If you can pinch them, you need to tighten them up a little bit. And so these seats are great, as it makes it easy for parents to, take the child out, you loosen it up, and then every time you put the child in, readjust.
Got it.
And readjust, and all right. But get them used to being snug in the car seat, because again, we can put the seat in, lock it down, that thing's not moving, but then parents let their kids run around all loose in here, and they don't like to be in there tight.
There's a certain age, say 5, where they learn how to use the straps, and that's where it becomes a challenge.
And I do hear that quite often, and my 3.5-year-old hasn't hit that yet.
Yes.
But I'm not looking forward to that time when they do figure out how to use these straps, but we need to emphasize the importance of keeping them secured and making sure they don't undo these during their transport.
So the booster seat. This is where Sophia Cotto, my daughter, who thinks that she's old enough to get out of this booster seat. She's only 7. I'm not sure she's at the height limit, but what are the rules, or what does the law say about the booster seat?
So 4'9" and 8 years old. Okay. And we'll start with the height. Is that what happens is seatbelts really aren't designed for people that are under 4'9", believe it or not. And there is some shorter people out there, and I'm not saying that adults tend to be sitting in a booster, but what I am saying is that what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure the seatbelt comes across their shoulder.
Okay.
And so why they're so important is that when the kids are not in a booster seat, it tends to come across their neck. And then what they'll do is they'll try to put it behind their back, which then just puts the belt around their lap, which is also very unsafe. So it's important that we use these boosters, and also prevents them from slouching down and trying to put their feet on the floor and actually bringing that lap belt around their abdominal area. When we want that lap belt around their pelvis and that shoulder, across the shoulder, sternum area.
So I have to make sure as a mother that she is strapped in, it's forward, the strap is in the forward, make sure that it's not up to the neck, but more over to the shoulder, and then she's...
Exactly.
Okay.
And so this car seat, for example, this goes up to 100 pounds. It goes up to 100 pounds forward facing, because you remove these harnesses and you run the seat belt through here. This can be used as that booster that we're talking about, which is very convenient.
And sometimes just because due to height, they outgrow this, and the booster seat is what's meant to happen.
I always tell parents, like, okay, say this seat only went up to 65 pounds. Well, then let's transition to a booster seat. When they outgrow the height or weight that the manufacturer requires, then let's move them up to a bigger seat, to the booster seat. And this is always, they get excited when they start getting to use these and get out of the straps and just using the seat belt.
They're more independent then.
Exactly.
So Kelly, where does the funding come from in order to get our message out in our community?
Well, thanks to the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, we're able to provide 3 fitting stations throughout the city of Phoenix, one up north, centrally located, and then down south as well. And they can sign up and register for an appointment at phoenix.gov/fire.
Well, thank you once again for joining me I always enjoy these segments because I also learn, but also the community learns. So thank you. I would like to thank you for joining me at Fire Station 61.